Hey guys, I'm going to go over the exponents and polynomials test review. So I suggest you go ahead and work through this test review as much as you can before you watch my video, and then just go through and check, and if there's ones you're not sure how to do, then watch the video. So here we go. The first couple are just fill in the blanks about the rules. Remember, you do get the formula chart, which has all the rules on it. I'll go to that real quick, I guess, so to show you. So if you're in Google Classroom and you go to classwork, and right down here under formula charts and dumps, there's the formula chart for you. If you're in class, I will have a formula chart for you. If you're not, I'm sorry. You'll have to have this one online. But again, everything you need is under this second thing where it says properties of exponents, the second heading. So you've got all of your exponent rules here. You will have those if you need them. Okay, so when we multiply polynomials, you're going to multiply the coefficients, so multiply the coefficients or the numbers, and you're going to add your exponents. When you divide the coefficients or the numbers, and you're going to subtract the exponents. And then when you have a negative exponent, we cannot have that, so you have to move it to the bottom. Move to the denominator. Not sure how to spell that. Maybe. That's not right. So like if we have a to the negative n, you would have to make it 1 over a to the n. That's what we're talking about here. Okay. So we're simplifying this expression. It's a multiplication problem. So I know I'm going to be multiplying my big numbers first. So in this case, I'm multiplying 2 times 4. And I know 2 times 4 is 8. Then I'm going to keep my bases. So my bases are, my bases are x. So I'm going to have x, and then I add the exponent since we're multiplying it. 3 plus 2 is 5. So it's x to the 5th. Multiply my coefficients, add the exponents. Okay, this one we're simplifying again. This one is a division. So this time I'm going to divide my numbers. So 12 divided by 2 is going to give me my 6. I keep my base of k. Keep my base of k, and then I subtract. And it's always top minus the bottom. So it's 7 minus negative 3. And remember, when we have 7 minus a negative, this is really going to turn into a plus. So it's 10. So it's 6k to the 10th power. Just following all those rules. Okay, another multiplication one. Multiply my numbers, so 2 times 4, and it's actually a negative 4, so it's going to be negative 8. Keep the base of a, add my 2 exponents. So negative 3 plus 7, different signs we subtract, so it's going to be a positive 4. And I can keep it just like that. Okay, we've got a word problem here. The area of a rectangle is represented by the expression 63 x to the 8, y to the 11th, and the width is represented by the expression 9x to the 5th, y to the 6th. What is the length of the rectangle? So they love asking these on STAR. So I've got this rectangle here, and I know the area, 63 x to the 8th, y to the 11th. I've got the width, is 9x to the 5th, y to the 6th, and I don't know what the length is. That's what I'm looking for. Well, I know how to find area of a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is going to be area equals length times width. And I'm going to plug in all the things I know. So I'm going to plug in for area, and I'm also going to plug in for the width, because I know those two things. So the area I said was 63, x to the 8th, y to the 11th. And the width was 9, x to the 5th, y to the 6th. And I still don't know the length. And this is still being multiplied. So if I want to get length by itself, I'm going to have to get this whole thing moved. And to do that, I'm going to have to divide everything by 9x to the 5th, y to the 6th. Both sides. Okay, so now I've got a 9 on top, 9 on bottom goes away. X to the 5th on top, x to the 5th on bottom goes away. Y to the 6th on top, y to the 6th on bottom goes away. So I'm left with this L, which is what I wanted. So we're going to get L equals whatever this is. So I'm left with this division problem. So again, with dividing, I'm going to divide my whole numbers first. So I'm going to take the 63 divided by 9 first. And I'm going to get 7. Then I'm going to do my x's. So I've got x to the 8th and x to the 5th. So I'm going to keep the base of x. But then I'm going to subtract 8 minus 5 is 3. Then I've got my bases of y. I've got y to the 11th and y to the 6th. So keep the base of y. 11 minus 6 is 5. So that is my length. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Write an expression that is equivalent to the given expression for all values m, n, and p. So all it's asking us to do is divide it. So again, I'm going to divide my whole number. So 30 divided by 10 is going to give me 3. Then I'm going to do my m. I've got m to the negative third and m to the 2. So keep the base of m. Negative 3 minus 2, same signs we add. So it's going to be negative 3 plus negative 2, which is really negative 5. And then I've got my n's. N to the 6th, n to the 4th. So keep n. 6 minus 4 is 2. And I know y'all see that negative there and it can't stay. So if you already moved it to the bottom, that's fine. I like to do it all and then move everything to the bottom last. But whatever process you want to do, that's fine. P to the 2nd, p to the negative 3rd. So again, we've got 2 minus negative 3. That turns into a positive. 2 plus 3 is 5. So keep the base of p to the 5th power. Now, I can't leave it like this because of that negative. So this whole thing has got to go to the bottom of the fraction. So we're really going to keep the 3's positive, the n's positive, the p's positive. That can all stay on top. On the bottom, I'm going to move this m, and I'm going to change it to positive 5 because I moved it to the bottom. So now I've made it pretty. So I've simplified it, and then these two are equivalent like they asked. Okay, same thing here. Write an expression that is equivalent to the expression below for all values x and y. So we're just simplifying by multiplying. So again, multiply the coefficients, which are my numbers. 10 times 4 is 40. Then I've got x squared and x to the 5th. Keep the base of x. 2 plus 5 is 7. Then I'm going to move on to my y. Y to the 3rd, y to the 7th. Keep the base of y. 3 plus 7 is 10. Everything's positive, so that would be the final answer. I don't need to move anything to the bottom for that one. we had this one on a bell ringer, and on some of your homeworks it looked like this. The expression x to the 8th times x to the 6th is equivalent to x to the p. What is the value of p? So really it's just looking for this exponent up here. Again, this is a multiplication problem, so I'm multiplying the coefficients, which I don't have any coefficients. The coefficients are 1, and 1 times 1 is just 1. So all I'm going to do is keep the base of x and add 8 plus 6 to give me 14. So P is equal to 14 because it's asking for this part up here. So if it were like a griddable, that's kind of a question they like to do in STAR. If it asked you to grid it, that would be what it would be asking for, is 14 would be what you're gridding in your STAR. Okay, simplify the following expression. We're dividing again. So I'm going to divide these numbers. Now notice this isn't going to divide evenly, so you can find the greatest common factor that would go into both 36 and 20. Or if you don't want to do that, you can go over here to Desmos, and again, you can plug in 36 divided by 20 and hit the fancy fraction button, and it simplifies it for you to 9/5. Or again, you could just see the greatest common factors 4 and divide it out. It's up to you. So again, whoops, we get 9/5. Then I'm going to do a to the 8th, a to the 3rd. So I keep the base of a. 8 minus 3 is 5. And then I'm going to do b to the 10th, b to the 14th, keep the base of b. 10 minus 14 is going to be -4. So I have to do something with that negative, so I'm going to bring it down to the bottom with this 5. So I've got 9 on top, a to the 5th on top. 5 was already on bottom, and now I'm bringing that b to the bottom, and now it gets to change to a +4, so we don't have any negative exponents. Ta-da! So far, so good. 12, we're simplifying. Again, we don't have any coefficients or just regular old numbers, so we don't have to divide those first. So I'm just going to keep the x, and I'm going to subtract 3 minus 14. Again, 3 minus 14 is really 3 plus 14. So I'm going to get 17. Okay, 13, it says, use the monomial 5x to the 3rd to answer the following. An answer may be used more than once. The variable, remember variable is talking about the letter, your ABCs. And the monomial is, well, if I'm looking at this thing here, 5x to the 3rd, the only letter in there is x. The exponents in the monomial, that's your baby numbers, the little floating numbers, is 3. That's the only baby number there. The coefficient number in front of variable is 5. We have 5x to the 3rds. The base in the monomial is, remember when we have exponents, we've got a base and a power. So the base would be x again. What is the perimeter of a rectangle with a length of 4x plus 5 and a width of 5x squared? So I've got a rectangle. And I've got a length of 4x plus 5 and a width of 5x squared. So this side and this side are the same, and then this side and this side are the same. Well, if I'm finding perimeter, if you remember, that's around the rim. So I'm adding up all the sides. So I've got 2 5x squared, so 5x squared plus 5x squared. Then I've got 2 4x plus 5 plus 4x plus 5. So now I'm just combining like terms. Remember, to be a like term, I have to have the same base and the same power. So like an x squared and an x can't go together. It's got to be a base of x and then the power that goes together. So, and then I've got the x squareds can only go with x squareds. X's can only go with x's. And then just plain old numbers can only go with plain old numbers. So first I've got 5x squared plus 5x squared. That's going to be 10, and when you're adding and subtracting, remember, you just keep the last name. You're just telling me how many x squareds we have. Don't add them together. We're not multiplying where we say it's x to the 4th. That's not what we're doing. You're telling me how many we have total. Just like if I said we have 5 hearts plus 5 hearts, we'll have 10 hearts total. We were talking about 5x squared plus 5x squared. We've got 10x squareds total. Same thing with the 4x's. 4x plus 4x is going to just be 8x. We've got 8x's total, and then 5 plus 5 is 10. So this would be the perimeter of that rectangle, combining all your like terms. You also could have set the problem up instead of writing it all out. That way you could say 2 times 5x squared plus 2 times 4x plus 5 and distribute it that way. That would have worked as well. Either setup. Both work. Okay, the number of yards Bob mowed on Monday is represented by the polynomial 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. The number of yards on Tuesday is represented by 4x minus 7, and 3x squared plus 10 represents the number of yards on Wednesday. How many yards did he mow in total over the 3 days? So we want to know Monday plus Tuesday plus Wednesday. So I'm adding 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 plus Tuesday 4x minus 7 plus Wednesday 3x squared plus 10. Again, just combining like terms. So x squareds only go with x squareds. X's only go with x's. And then constants or regular real numbers only go with regular real numbers or constants. So now I'm just matching my colors up. 2x squared plus 3x squared. I've got 5x squareds total. 5x plus 4x is going to be 9x's total. Negative 7 minus 7, same signs, we add. So 3 plus 7 is negative 10. And then negative 10 plus 10 is just going to go away. So I'm left with this. And again, I can't combine it and say we've got 14x's or 14x squared because they're not the same thing. This one has a power of 2. This one has a power of 1. I can't combine those together. So that would be my answer. Okay, more adding and subtracting. So remember with subtracting, there is a negative 1 here that you've got to take and distribute to everything inside. These you can bring it down. So I've got xy plus 10x. Negative 1 times 4xy is negative 4xy. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. Now in this case, again, we're combining like terms. XY is a last name. So you're telling me how many people with the last name of XY. That's their full name. So XYs are these people. 10x is by himself, and then our constant of 3 is by himself. So when we do this, we've got 1xy minus 4xy. So 1 minus 4 is negative 3. His last name is xy. Plus I have the 10x, he's by himself, and then the 3 is by himself. So I just bring those two down. And that would be my final answer. That's as far as I can go. Again, I can't combine the negative 3xy and the 10x because his last name is xy, his last name is x. They don't go together. 17, we're adding. So again, adding, you don't really have to distribute if you're just in the habit of distributing. You're just distributing a positive 1 to everything inside. So I'm just going to bring down all of this. 4x squared minus 8x plus 3. All these signs are just staying the same. I'm just bringing it down. So now I'm just combining the like terms. X squareds go with x squareds. X's go with x's. And then our constants go with constants. So 4x squared minus 6x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 8x plus 4x, negative 4x. And 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And there we have it. 18, I've got to distribute both places. So I've got to do 1/4 times everything in here. 1/4 times x squared is just going to be 1/4 x squared. 1/4 times negative 20 is really like taking negative 20 and dividing by 4. So I've got negative 5. I also have to distribute the 6 to everything inside of the parentheses. So I've got 6. 6 times x squared is going to be 6x squared. 6 times negative 4x is going to be negative 24x. And then 6 times 12 is going to give us 72. Then I start combining x squareds with x squareds. There's only one of those. X's with x's. And then constants with constants. So I've just got 1/4 x squared. 6x minus 24x is going to give us negative 18x. And then 72, or negative 5 plus 72 is the same thing as 72 minus 5, which is 67. And again, that's as simplified as we can get, so that's our answer. Find the area of a square with a side length of 3x squared. So in a square, if you remember, if this side's 3x minus 2, then this side's 3x minus 2, this side's 3x minus 2, and this side's 3x minus 2. And area of a square is length times width, but the length and width are the same. So it's really just saying 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2, right? Okay, so now we're on to multiplying. This one I'm going to do box method for. I'll kind of rotate for everybody, but I think the majority of people like to do box method from what I've seen. So I've got a box, a 2 by 2, and I've got 3x, negative 2, 3x, negative 2. So the first box is 3x times 3x, which is 9x squared. Then I've got 3x times negative 2, which is negative 6x. Then I've got negative 2 times 3x, again, negative 6x. And then I've got negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4. So these I'm going to add together. So I'm left with 9x squared. Negative 6x plus negative 6x is negative 12x. Same signs we add. And then plus 4. So this would be our area. You could also FOIL first, outside, inside, last. Okay, what is the area of the rectangle to the right? So again, we're doing length times width. Where we've got length is 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 times x plus 4. So I need to do a 3 by 2. So 2x squared, negative 5x, and a positive 3, x, and 4. 2x squared times x is 2x to the third power, because this one really has 1, so 1 plus 2 is 3. Then I've got 2x squared times 4 is 8x squared. negative 5x times x is negative 5x squared. Negative 5x times 4 is negative 20x. X times 3 gives me 3x. Then lastly, 3 times 4 is 12. So then when I go to start combining, my x squareds can go together and my x's can go together. So I have 2x to the third, 8x squared minus 5x squared is going to give me 3x squared. Negative 20x plus 3x is going to be negative 17x, and then I just have the 12 hanging out. So there is our area. So just multiplying. Multiplying again. This time I'll do FOIL. So FOIL, or if you remember, is first, outside, inside, last. So first is 2x times x, which is 2x squared. Outside is 2x times negative 5, which is negative 10x. Inside, which is 1 times x, which is just 1x. And then last is 1 times negative 5, which is negative 5. And then I can combine my like terms of negative 10x plus 1x. So I'm left with 2x squared minus 9x minus 5. Again, you could also do box method. Either way would work. So this one, I'll do box method. Again, we need a 2 by 2. X minus 7, x plus 4. X times x is x squared. X times negative 7, negative 7x. X times 4 is 4x. 4 times negative 7 is going to be negative 28. Then I can combine my like terms, so these x's can go together, so I'm left with x squared. 4x minus 7x is negative 3x minus 28. So there's the answer for that one. Again, you could have FOILed if you would like. X minus 4 squared. If you remember, there is a shortcut, but I'm not sure that we remember, but I guess I'll show if you do remember and want to remember. If you have the same thing, so x minus 4 and it's squared, you're going to square the first term, so it's just x squared. It's a subtraction sign, so we're going to put a minus 2 times both these terms on the inside, so times x times 4, and then plus the last term squared, so 4 squared. So when you simplify, you get x squared. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8x, and then 4 squared is 16. So that's the answer. Or if you were to solve it out, this is really saying x minus 4 times x minus 4. So if you were to do a box method, we would have x negative 4, x negative 4, which is x squared, negative 4x, negative 4x, and 16. And again, when you go to combined, these, we're going to end up with x squared, negative 4x plus negative 4x, same signs we add, so negative 8x plus the 16, which again is what we got here. So if you remember the little rule, you can do that, or you can do box or FOIL work as well. Okay, this one we have to do box, or if you are a double distributor, you can do that as well. I'm going to do box because I like the way it organizes it for me. So 4x squared, 3x, negative 2, 2x, and 7. So 4x squared times 2x is 8x to the third. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. 4x squared times 7 is 28x squared. 3x times 7 is 21x. And negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Okay, so x squares can go together and x's can go together. So 8x to the third power. I've got 28x squared plus 6x squared is 34x squared. And then 21x minus 4x is 17x. And then minus 14 is our answer. Okay, last one. A trinomial times a trinomial. Whoop, whoop. Best for last, right? It's really not bad. Just takes a second. So this time I need a 3 by 3. X squared, negative 5x, and 1. 2x squared, 3x, and negative 6. So I've got 2x squared times x squared is 2x to the fourth power. Okay. 3x times x squared is 3x to the third power. And x squared times negative 6 is negative 6x squared. Then going down again, I've got negative 5x times 2x squared is negative 10x to the third. Negative 5x times 3x is negative 15x squared. Negative 5x times negative 6 is going to be positive 30x. And then I've got 1 times 2x squared is just 2x squared. 1 times 3x is 3x. And 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. Then we get to start simplifying x cubes, x squareds, and x's. And again, the top left and bottom right, I don't really need to touch. So I've got 24x to the fourth. 3x cubed minus 10x cubed is negative 7x cubed. Then I've got negative 6x squared minus 15x squared. Same sign to be add, so we're at negative 21x squared. And then negative 21x squared plus 2 is going to be negative 19x squared. 30x plus 3x is 33x. And then we've got the negative 6 hanging out. It's long, but that's simplest version. And there we go. There is the review. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully you worked through most of it by yourself and you were able to get through the review. Tests will be very similar to this. Let me know if you have any questions. Have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.